Hi guys, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada. Here with Peach.
Hi, I'm Peach. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm such a fan of your music.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and your TikTok, all of the things. So congratulations on all of the success, and congratulations on getting your TikTok back.
Yes. Oh my God, that was literally like just last night.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident that we could finesse them to let me have it back.
What happens though? You go on and then they just say like suspended?
Yeah, like I woke up and like opened my TikTok and it was like Womp banned, and I was like, okay. And so I sent it to my team. I was like, hey, like I've been banned. Can we like talk to somebody? And they were like, we're on it. And it was we like know a few people from TikTok and they were like able to get it back for me.
Right. Was it the Submarine video? Is that what it was?
Well, that's what I genuinely didn't think it was until I had a meeting with like some of my like digital team, and they were like, we think it might have been the Submarine. I was like, I did go pretty hard.
I don't know. I don't think it was bad. Like compared to some of the like.
Right. I've said worse. So I was like, I'm surprised that was the last straw. Like.
Right. How do you feel like you would do in the Submarine?
Oh my God, that was what I was saying in the TikTok. I was like, I would be making a mess in there, and I would be eating somebody. I'd be 2 minutes into it, and I'm like, well, someone's got to be eaten. And
right, yeah, gotta go for the billionaire.
Yeah, I'm not getting eaten first, so I'm going to take a bite. Like,
yeah, how's your whole For You page just been the Submarine? Because that's all
because I had to. Yeah, because I had to go on my spam account because like I couldn't scroll anymore because I had my account taken away, and it resets your whole For You page.
Oh, it does.
So I was just like scrolling. The only thing that I got was the Submarine videos, and at this point, if I hear about one more billionaire in a tube, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I know. I feel like it's gonna like I don't know, not be as of a thing. I don't know. But they found debris. Did you hear that? Anyway, well, let's talk about music. Like they found parts of it, they think.
Oh, well, that's good.
So
parts of it.
I know. Yeah. So we'll see. Anyways, let's talk about your music. How is it for you being able to like go and perform live and connect with all your fans and do all that?
It's been unreal. It's been so much fun. Like, and the fact that I'm like so far from home. Like, I've just done a couple of shows in LA and New York, and being so far away and seeing like people still dressing up in all pink, and people that I've seen at like my Australia shows. I have one really sweet, dedicated fan, Carly, who's like come from Canada to Australia to see my national tour, and then came to the LA shows in New York and Central Park and my New York show. It's so sweet, like so beautiful, and it's like it's so touching to see people like singing words back to me like that and like hearing the American accent in videos when they're like singing along. I'm like, oh, cute. Like,
that's amazing. I love it. So she's got to come and see you tonight and stuff then, I guess.
Yeah, well,
if it's Canada.
I think she'll be there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
She's not missed one yet, so I think
now it's not going to be the time that she does that. Is there a lot of culture shocks that you found between America and Australia besides the accent?
Yeah, and it's my second time being there, and I think, the first time was like there was weird things that were like a fire hydrant was like, I was like, ooh, it's like a little red fire hydrant. Like, I've never seen it in real life. Like, such like stupid little things like that were like a culture shock to me. But the people like both here, like I haven't been here very long. I just got here last night, but like the people I've interacted with today and in the US have all been really kind. So it's been at least a pleasant culture shock.
Yeah. People are kind also in Australia though?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, that's good. I wasn't sure if you meant like they're so mean there, and that's it's nice that they're all nice here.
It's a different vibe. They're a bit more like laid back. Like, we don't get what Americans are like. We're very nice on purpose. Like,
that's good. That's good to hear. I had that too. Like even going to the States, even seeing like the blue mailboxes or just like things that you see in movies.
Where you're like, oh my God, it's like a movie, and it's literally like a box, and you're like, you know.
I had a friend from Europe that was visiting one time when I was in high school, and she like made me take photos of her with like every yellow school bus because she's like, this is like
I feel like that in New York with the yellow taxis out the front. I was like, oh my God,
you're like New Yorker.
Yeah,
I love it.
Like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I know it's been a dream of yours to be successful and be a singer since you were at a young age. Was there a point that you remember where you were like, I think I can actually do this? Like this, I might be able to pull this off.
It's nice that you know that about me, first of all. But I think maybe I've always said like the first time I recorded a song and like put it out was just like, that was where, to me, like I've made it. Like regardless of if anyone hears it, the fact that I could listen to a song that was like properly produced and like sung on a professional microphone and like not something that was like recorded on my iPad and like a Facebook cover, it was like an actual song. I was like, I am a pop star and I have done it, and like checked off the list, pop star done. And like regardless of anyone hearing it, so the fact that like millions of people heard it, and then like other stuff that I've done and I get to keep doing that, like I still feel like that every time I record a song. I'm like, I'm literally such a pop star right now.
Yeah.
Like I love it. So yeah, I think anything beyond that has just been a huge bonus.
Yeah. Do you have those like big bucket list items, or is it just like, okay, I've made it this far, I'm going to take it like one step at a time?
I don't know. I feel like I should, because I get asked that often, but like, and I make mood boards and they're kind of vague, like they just kind of pictures of like people that inspire me, and like, and I try to include gratitude in it. So I'll have like fans on there, and I'll have like, you know, like I'm really thankful for the people that have, or thankful for what I've done so far, and like, you know, that kind of thing. But I think if I give myself too much of a set goal, then like I'll, you know, spiral about it. I like to keep it vague, and whatever happens, I get surprised by it. I'm like, nice.
Yeah. And it's like great. Kind of like you manifested it down. But yeah, I love that. The hill that I will die on, and I have said this in interviews before, is that Stars Are Blind by Paris Hilton is the #1 pop song of all time.
I agree.
It is like, and it's been so underrated for so long.
Yes.
So I'm also glad that you like brought it back, especially for younger people who might not have been there when it came out and the success of it and everything. But was there any part of you that thought like, maybe she won't like this? Like, did you have any doubts?
What's so crazy is the fact that me and my girlfriend bonded over the same thing, is that we're both like, this is so underrated. And like the fact that I brought it up and she was like, I love this too. I was like, oh my God, get out of here. Like, I love this. And it was our like first date, and like, it was very like, is this a date? Like, are we just hanging out? And we had like one headphone each, and we were like in the grass, like listening to the song. And then I wrote the song for her to tell her that I like her, because we'd never kissed before. So I was like, kiss me, I'm not scared. Like, just do it. Like, you know, we can be girlies, we can kiss. And so I wrote the song for her, and then that's why I included that song, because I never thought it would. I was like, that's never getting passed by anything, so I'm not gonna like put it out. But then my team were like, yeah, like the interpolation's cool, like they've passed it, there's no issue. And I was like, okay. So then we released it, and Paris loved the song. Not only did she like, you know, let it be approved, like she was actually into it, and like and it has been like fully promoting it for me, like was posting it, like she was getting ready for the was it the Grammys, or like I think it was the Grammys, and she was like on her story but listening to Peach PRC, perfect for you, and she like dropped a link and everything, and was like, here's the link to like download and stream it. I'm like, you angel, like that's so sweet. Like, she owes me nothing.
And she's also like commented on like every single like anytime you post about it, she's like there,
so sweet, like genuinely active. And like for somebody who is as successful as she is, and so like you know, busy, like she's so kind, and like takes time out of her day to like send me something sweet and be nice to me and promote my stuff, and like, and just support me. Like it's really beautiful. I like feel like I'm living in a parallel universe. Like,
so wild.
It doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I love that too, that like that's a song that I feel like you've helped gain more attention. And also Escape by Enrique Iglesias, I think it's also such an underrated song. So
I agree, but no one else does. And like
no one thinks it's underrated, or no one.
Well, I don't think so. I think that's probably been the biggest culture shock, is that no one knows Escape by Enrique Iglesias. But like it was a shock even in Australia. Like I did it as the encore song originally, and I walked out there being like ready to be like, you guys are ready for this one, and everyone was like, what is this? And I was like, oh my God, okay, moving on, sorry about that. And then we like moved it out of like the encore, and I'm like, I'm not like dropping it though, like don't be silly, I'm keeping it in the set, because it is such a girly pop song.
It is a girly pop song.
It is, absolutely. Like if you don't think about it being Enrique singing it, it's girly pop.
It transcends.
Yeah,
it's wild. Having been a fan of music, especially like pop music, and then now being in it, do you have any artists that you were originally a fan of that now you've been able to connect with as like on a peer level?
Yes. So Bonnie McKee is like a huge idol of mine, and like not only as a writer, like she obviously wrote like some huge hits like during the teenage dream era and the 2010s pop, like with Katy Perry and Kesha and like all these artists that I absolutely love. She also had her own project, and her song American Girl was a song that I remember hearing at like house parties, and I just went feral. I was like, what is this song? I love it. And I was obsessed, and I put it in my set list when I was a stripper, like on stage, and I would strip to it. And then like, and this was back in like 2017, and then in like 2021 or 2022 or something, I was like in the room writing with her, and we wrote Forever Drunk together. And I was like, this is so surreal. Like I used to like be stripping like to your music, and now I'm here writing with you. And she came on stage with me in LA, like just like last week, and she's another person who's just been so supportive and so sweet, and an absolute angel in person. So
that's insane. Crazy. And you had that with Ava Max too, right?
Yeah.
Like a full circle moment?
Yeah, another really crazy moment that like, it was very brief, but like she was so kind to me, and I ran up to her and was like, I used to strip to your music, and she was about to go on stage. She's like, oh my God, like thank you. Like she was so beautiful, and we took her. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry, goodbye. Yeah. And she went on stage.
That's so insane. Well, going back to your childhood, we were talking about a little bit. Do you remember like a specific moment or instance where you're like, oh, I think I might be queer, or like I think I might be different, or was it kind of more gradual over time?
It was pretty gradual, but like now looking back, I look back at things and I'm like, oh, like, okay.
I have that all the time. Like even now I'll think about things and I'm like, oh, that was like lesbian Shannon. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And even the songs I was putting out, I was like, every song I've written about a man has been like angry, been like, you're annoying, you're gross. And then I write a song out and I'm like, you're kind of pretty, we should kiss. And I'm like looking back and I'm like, oh, no wonder. I was like, I was writing like diss tracks about dudes that I was like currently dating. Like, would be in relationships and I'd be like, you're a bit annoying. And I'd be like, why am I like so like bothered by the people I'm dating? I'm like, oh, okay.
It's got to be nice though to like be on that journey and kind of have a better understanding of who you are as a person though, with realizing all those things. That's what I found anyways. Yeah. Where I'm like, oh, like it made so much sense of all the experiences that I went through and how I was behaving and feeling, and now I'm like feel like I have a better sense of self.
Yeah, it all adds up, and I look back almost annoyed. I'm like, oh my god, like why did I put myself through that without knowing? Like, but now I feel like, and people have like watched it happen in real time online. It's been like the last 3 years, and I've been like even like 3 years ago, I've been making TikToks being like, does anybody else just like want to scream when their boyfriend touches them? Is that like you guys know what I mean? And they'd be like, are you sure? Like you like men? And I'm like, no, like I do. Like it's just, everybody feels this way. And
I feel like too, it's probably like for me anyways, it was probably just like the lack of media representation that there was around queer people. So I didn't really, I knew that they were out there, but I didn't see them in real time or like have representation for myself in music. So I feel like the younger generation now maybe won't have that as much, or will maybe help discover it at a younger age.
I love that about pop music currently. Like we have like people like Kim Petras, like who's trans and is just absolutely soaring and being like a huge like A-list pop star now. And like I don't think that would have happened even like 10 years ago. And I think now having like so much more queer representation, I feel like back in like even 2010s maybe, or like early 2000s or 90s, it's like you couldn't come out like because you were too much of a star. And I was like, that's wild to think that like I love that things are changing the way that they are.
Yeah, totally. How do you feel now that you get to be that representation then also, along with Kim Petras and all these other artists, for younger people that we didn't have when we were younger?
I feel so honored. I feel really grateful that like I get to be someone that I would have like looked up to and would have been like, it would have helped me along my journey. So and people like will comment things like that, and it's really heartwarming to see people be like, oh, I haven't seen somebody like me who's also queer, and it made me realize, oh, I am gay, and like I don't have to fit into a certain stereotype.
Right. That's gonna be so nice too, that people are like, oh, I realized I was gay because I like listened to your music or like watched you online.
Yeah, crazy. Blondes was a big like awakening for a lot of people, which is so cool for me. Yeah,
your girlfriend, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's not out, right?
No.
How is navigating that, especially that is such a hard thing to be in and can be challenging in a lot of ways, but then also you being in the public has, I'm sure, got to add an extra layer to that.
Yeah, it's something that we work through like all the time, but it's like for me, I'm in it for her and not like her family or whatever. It's like, I know it's important to her, but for me, I'm like, I just love you, and so I'm here for whatever, and I'll I'd wait forever for her. I love her. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that so much. I was in the closet for like such a long time because my family is just like not totally accepting. And then, so I was in situations where I like wanted to date someone, I was interested in someone, but then I was in the closet, and then that was just such a like deal breaker.
She's been
for
in the
them.
Same,
Yeah. So that's so amazing that you are like, no, that doesn't.
For me, it's something I'm like, I don't care. I don't need your family to know. Like, I like you. So.
Yeah, that's so nice. I love that so much. Okay, who do you think would play you in a movie if there is a movie about your life?
Oh my God, I've never thought about that.
No, never.
Oh. Who would play me in a movie? Who's an actress that?
Or who would you want to?
Who would I want to?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, Lady Gaga is actually a really incredible actress, and I love her as a pop star. So like that's the first one that comes to mind. I don't know if like we have similar personalities though. I think like
she's an actress, so she can.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
She can do it.
She can, yeah. Maybe her then.
Lady Gaga? Yeah. I think that's such a good fit. I feel like let's make that happen. We'll manifest that next for you.
Yeah, let's make a movie.
Yeah. Do people ever think that you're an industry plant?
I have had like one or two comments, and I run with them. I'm like, yes, that is so funny. I love that. Yes, I'm an industry plant. Like, and I but like not often, because I feel like you can go back on my TikTok and see me like begging people to stream my music and like in my stripper heels being like, hey, I'm about to walk on stage right now, but like please listen to my song Blondes that I put out.
Right.
Like it's kind of hard to pin me as one, but I love that though. I feel like that if you're an industry plant, I feel like you're successful. Like you've been planted, you're growing.
Yeah, you got like a team behind you, like doing all the work for you. Yeah, go with that. Do you feel, is that kind of a reaction that you have to like different rumors about you, that you'll just be like, yeah, let's go with it?
It's crazy. I like since you know, being like in the public eye, I guess, is like, it's wild that people can just say whatever and people can be like, wow, I didn't think she was like that. And it's like, I didn't even know that about myself. Like, that's not true. Like, and like, I could just make up a lie about anybody and post it online, and people would be like, oh my God, no way. And it's like, I just never thought to like lie about somebody before. So when people do it, I'm like, this is like a Wattpad fanfic you've written about me. This is crazy. Like,
do you let them just have it then, or do you like comment back and you're like, no,
I just leave it. I'm just like, I don't like give it any sort of validity. I'm just like, that is a buck wild statement you've just said. I'm going to let you just just scream into the void with that one.
Totally. I read something online recently that said like it was like 20 to 30% of all the information that's shared on TikTok is just false.
Yeah,
people just take
you're
it
allowed
as
to just
fact.
say things, which is wild. I do it too. Like, I don't make up lies, but I just be saying things. I'm like, don't fact check me. I just have opinions.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like
I got banned.
I make a lot of like celebrity news TikToks. That's like my whole thing. And then I'll watch a lot of other ones, and I see people say things that are wrong all the time, and then people just like go with it too, and I'm like, that is just not correct.
Yeah, I see it too. And like now being in the public eye, I watch those with a grain of salt. I'm like, I've heard things like crazy said about me, so I can only imagine what would be said about someone who's like a A-list star. Like, they could be anything. I'm like, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I feel like that I would have such a hard time with that, because I would just want to be like, no, that's not how it is.
I did at the beginning, but I feel like the more you try to fight it, the more it's like, oh, she's like, defending it. You're obviously lying.
Yeah,
so you just have to leave it.
How do you feel about people having like tattoos of your face and your lyric? That's insane.
God. Really full on. And I like so genuinely deeply grateful, and so like I admire it so much, and I think that's such a beautiful like dedication to the art that I'm making, and I cannot even fathom that someone would appreciate it that much to do that. But it's also like, I'm so terrified. I'm like, I don't ever want to let you down now. Like, I'm so scared that's with you forever, and like if I ever like disappoint you, like you're stuck with that. Like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's it is a very surreal feeling, like nothing I've ever experienced.
Yeah. With that being said too, do you feel like because you have this certain level of success, or people see you in a certain way, that you have to like act in a certain way, or is that not something you really think about?
Yeah, like, I do. Like, it's funny you mentioned that. I feel like even today, like I've done a couple interviews, and I feel like I'm actually a very shy person, like in real life, but because online it's like I'm in my room with my phone, I'm like being goofy, it doesn't matter. And then people meet me in real life and they're like, oh, you're actually really reserved and shy and like awkward. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm really anxious and like really shy. Like, I don't really like, it's not face to face that it's my phone. And then on stage I'm like this big, like, but because I'm having so much fun, it's like music brings out something in me where I'm like performing and it's fun, but then it's like I sit down to talk and I'm like shaking and I'm fumbling on my words and I'm really actually shy. So I feel like I do have to kind of put on like the peach like thing so that people don't find me boring. But yeah, I think your situation too is so interesting, because you did already have this fan base, or like people that were following you, not necessarily for your music. So that's got to be so nice too, that when you do come out with things or you're on stage, that all your fans are like just such supporters, right? Yeah,
they have to have that around you.
100%. Like at the LA show, there's one song that I put out independently called Colorblind, and during the time that I put that song out, I had this like hideous wall of CDs. Like in a manic episode, I thought this would be like a genius like decor idea, and it was just like janky CDs that were all falling down. It was not enough. It was covering like one half of the wall, and in every TikTok people were like, please take them down, like please, I can't stand it, it's giving me like anxiety looking at it. And I just made it my thing. I was like, no, like whatever. And I even have like a tattoo of it.
Oh really?
Yeah, just to honor it, like a CD here. But I fully was like, no, the CD wall is my thing, and I'm committing to the bit. And then but that was so many years ago, and now like when I sing that song live, like I'm not sure if anyone remembers it, but in LA everybody held up CDs during that song. Like they did a little like fan project where they handed them out in the line. So during that song everyone was holding CDs, and I was like, what a sweet little like honor to that era of like TikTok. It wasn't even anything to do with my music.
That's so sweet. So niche.
Yeah, truly so niche.
That's so caring. I love that so much. Something I've been asking a lot of people, because I've been talking to a lot of queer artists this month around Pride, is that because there's such a like uptick in hatred towards the LGBTQ plus community, especially in the last couple months in the US specifically, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's feeling like they're not feeling like as confident as they want to be in who they are as a person?
Yeah, I think it's so hard, because I think I feel so privileged in the bubble that I've grown up in. Like I had really no idea until being with somebody who's had to be closeted because of things like that, and like religion and that kind of stigma towards things. So I have been learning only recently. Like I was thinking like, oh, the world's fine, like we're all open and you can just be gay, no one cares. And I'm like, oh wow, that's actually not how it is at all. But I think like there's no rush to like, you don't have to be so loud about it. You don't have to, like, it would be nice if you could, but you don't have to if that's not something you feel safe or comfortable doing or enjoy doing. Like, you can quietly be somebody who just exists the way that you do, and be confident in yourself. Like, I think that's maybe the best advice I could give.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Who's too privileged to really comment on it.
No, I love it. That's so great. Peach, thank you so much for taking time and chatting. It's been so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really lovely to meet you too.
Nice.